Right, how's everyone doing? Good, I hope. I just want to talk about the Atari VCS and the Intellivison Amico, Now, a lot of people were saying that there's a lot of similarities between the Atari VCS and the Intellivison Amico, and we say yes, there is a lot of similarities there, both of them are, consoles from Atari and Intellivision, both companies which came back in the 70s and 80s, pioneers in a lot of ways, coming back again after a long time dead, because Atari and Intellivision were dead for a long time until, in Atari's case, for me personally, 2009 is when things started happening with Atari. They start making games and hardware and stuff. And what I mean by that is Roller Coaster Tycoon, the Atari flashback consoles, hats, t-shirts, putting their games on mobile devices, stuff like this. So that's when, for me, Atari came back to life, 2009. And the man to thank for that is a man named Fred Cheney. He was the former CEO of Atari, the one that brought Atari literally back to life, because the Atari has changed hands over the years with multiple different companies. Atari went bankrupt more than once, and they came back, because Atari is a worldwide brand, and something like that will never be dead, in my opinion, because Atari were the best in the world when it came to video games. They defined the industry, the video game industry that we have today. They defined it, so because Atari has worldwide recognition, still does, it'll never be dead. But Intellivision came out around 1979, and they were real competition to Atari and the Atari 2600, and they had the Mattel Intellivision. Now, Mattel owned Intellivision back then, a major toy company, that made Barbie, Hot Wheels, and so forth. So the Intellivision, the system was more advanced than the 2600. It had a voice module called the voice synthesis module that you connect to the console, and the games were capable of speech, which was a big thing back then. The games looked more impressive than anything on the 2600. Their controller was like a big number pad with a disc on it, which is what the Intellivison Amico is trying to do, So, what I'm saying is, the Atari VCS and the Intellivison Amico have similarities in the fact that they're both retro-inspired consoles. They both were crowdfunded, and they had an idea, and a market that they could sell this to. Now Atari, like I said, have a bigger fan base, so they had a better chance of making this succeed, than Intellivision did. But the main difference between the Atari VCS and the Intellivision, and the reason why the Atari VCS is available to purchase right now than the Intellivison Amico, is the fact that the management people behind Atari did the right things. They were upfront, honest, and they delivered on their promises. Whereas with Intellivision, the people that are in charge didn't. They lied to people, they swindled people, and it's fraud. It's technically fraud, in my opinion. And they should be held accountable for their actions. The people at Intellivision of today over the Amico, because they swindled people, knowing full well that they wouldn't have the money to build these consoles, but they took the money and run, and now they're being very, very quiet about it. So that's terrible. So that's where the similarities end with the Atari VCS and the Intellivison Amico. One was a success, It made to retail the Atari VCS. It delivered on its promises. The Intellivison Amico didn't because of corrupt management that swindled people out of their money, investors, people that PR'd it, and people that PR'd it to GameStop are getting their credit cards charged for no product, which is wrong, and something should be done about that. Will it? I don't know. I hope it does. So I just want to make a quick video about that because people were asking me what's the difference between the Atari VCS and the Intellivison Amico. Well, that's the basic thing. The VCS came out and it delivered on its promises, whereas the Amico didn't. Now, it's now similar about the two consoles. Like I said, both of them are retro inspired. You know what I mean? Like the VCS is based off the original Atari VCS, whereas the Amico sort of isn't. The controller for the Amico looks like the original Intellivision controller, but apart from that, there's a handful of games like Astro Smash and Night Stalker, which came out on the original Intellivision. But apart from that, like there's a bunch of games there that never came out on the Intellivision, and it's meant to be family focused, this machine, whereas the original Intellivision was marketed to everybody, so it had a wide variety of games. So whereas the VCS is pretty much the Atari are recharging their games and bringing them out for all consoles, Centipede, Asteroids and stuff, and they're releasing all sorts of games for every sort of gamer. Whereas the Amico is trying to grab the casual crowd, the kids, the same thing that the Wii did. They're hoping that it'll be as successful as the Wii is, but for that to happen, you have to release the system first of all, and you have to release content that people want to play. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing, you know. And with the Intellivison Amico, the controller has lag. On Cornhole, John Alvarado, the chief technology officer at Intellivision, was playing the game on their unboxing video, and the controller clearly has lag in its motion controls. So even if it did come out, it'd have all these problems, and it wouldn't be as good as the Wii, because the Wii had motion controls, but it did it correctly. There wasn't nearly as much lag, and you had fun playing it. Whereas you can imagine with the Amico, with the amount of lag that they shown, people would be frustrated with this thing, you know. And that's just my opinion, you know. But with the Atari VCS, it's more flexible. You can use any controller you want. You can go online, emulate games. You can play Steam games. You can pretty much do anything the PC can do. So you have a whole lot more options available to you. Plus you have all the streaming apps like Disney Plus and so forth. But with the Amico, it's not nearly as powerful as the VCS, so it's not capable of any of these things. Even if it came out, let's say if Intellivision, if the crowd behind Intellivision, Phil Adam, Tommy Tallarico, John Alvarado, Nick Adams, all these people, if they actually were honest about this and released a console, it'd be mediocre at best, and I don't think it would do as well as they'd hope it would. But that's my opinion, who knows? And if it actually came out, who knows how well it would do. But understand what are the differences and what's the similarities. But there's a whole lot of differences when it comes to playing games and stuff each console can do. You know, with the VCS you can do all those things, and it keeps getting updates by Atari. Atari are releasing games, and third-party developers are making games and updating their games. Whereas the Amico, you know, game developers have been shut down because there's no money coming in. They're not making any money. And Intellivision need $10 million just to stay in business, let alone make the console and get it out to people. Yet GameStop are charging people's credit cards for no product. So it's really terrible, and Atari didn't do any of these things. The only shady thing Atari did during the development of the Atari VCS is they didn't pay Rob Wyatt, who was the system architect for the Atari VCS, but they paid him to settle the out of court. He got his money, he was happy. But before he left, he done some good work on the VCS that Atari were still able to use, because he signed the paper on a dotted line, if you know what I'm saying. Now, the other shady thing was, suppose, the Register UK paper. Atari attacked them, calling clowns of journalism. They should have done that. They got drawn out there, Atari. They should have just cancelled the interview, saying we don't want to do the interview. That's what they should have said. Said they attacked them, saying that they're not great journalists and this and that. That's the only thing. Looking back at it, And Tempest 4000, okay, it came out a while ago. But back when the VCS was first getting developed, they were showing the game off as a VCS game. Which clearly that wasn't possible, because at that time, the VCS wasn't even off the drawing board, and the developer of the game says he never made a VCS version. So I believe, even though Atari was showing it off as a VCS game back then, which was wrong, I think that was the PS4 version, because that was the only available console version of that game available at the time for Tempest 4000. There was no Switch version, there was no Atari VCS version, but that's what everyone was saying, and they were saying that's shady stuff, like Atari showing off a game for the system that isn't there, so shady stuff. But that was it. That was pretty much it. Everything else, Atari kept us in the loop with what the VCS was how it was developing. If there was any delays and stuff like that, and even through a pandemic, it kept working, finalising the system. They showed us getting shipped on pallets. They kept us in the loop. Whereas in television, there was none of that. It's just excuses, delaying tactics. Instead of actually coming forward to saying, look, we don't have the money to do this, and we apologise, we're going to refund everybody. That's what they should do, but they're not doing that. They're running and hiding, hoping to God that they get away with the money, this all blows over. So, I believe charging people for a system that they haven't received on GameStop, that should be the final straw here, And I hope these people get lawyers or something, track these people down, because they're somewhere hiding, just hoping to God they get away with the money, and now this whole thing blows over. Well, that's wrong. So they're the similarities and the major differences between the Atari VCS and the Intellivison Amico. The Atari VCS delivered on its promises. You can play PC games, you can play Xbox games, you can play Stadia games, Atari VCS games in the VCS store. You can play third-party games. You can use any controller you wish. Keyboard and mouse. You have Disney Plus. You have all the apps, Netflix, you name it. It's a PC. Whereas you have so many options, and there's no online subscription. You can do pretty much anything you want with it. Just patience is the key with the Atari VCS. That's the only thing. If you have that, then you're going to have an awesome time with the Atari VCS. If you don't, you're not. But with the Intellivison Amico, it's underpowered. It has the specs of a 2015 cell phone with mad motion controllers that look like mobile phones with a disc on it. Because that's how the original Intellivision used to look like. The original Intellivision controller used to look like. Had a disc as a D-pad. And instead of a screen, which the Amico has a number pad. Which, like I said, the motion controls don't work very well. And it looks awkward. And most systems have a standard looking controller, so it's easy to port games to. But because the Amico is doing something completely different and it's underpowered, it won't have any chance at all of running an Xbox game or anything close to that. So all you're going to get are these cell phone type games with a few Intellivision games added in there for over €250 or dollars. And no, even if it came out, there's just not enough there. They were hoping that this would catch fire like the Wii, but you had to put things in there to entice people. Games, you had to make sure that your motion controllers are working properly. You had to get it out there and make it cheaper. That was the one reason why the Wii sold tons of units. It was cheaper than the Xbox 360 and the PS3. Plus, it was a family-friendly thing. It wasn't hard to use or set up or anything like this, but with the Intellivision, because they're learning so much about it, even with their own unboxing video, go watch it, it's on YouTube. Intellivision Amico unboxing, you'll see for yourself how phony this thing is, how fake it is. The guy actually doing the video was John Alvarado, the technology officer. And you see with your own eyes that this thing is fake and it's just not good enough. You know what I mean? And the spelling errors, there's grammar mistakes on the box. The console isn't wrapped properly and it's not factory sealed. This just looks like a used system that got out of eBay. And it is a used system. It's a dev kit that they built in the office. It's not retail ready, even though they're trying to make it look like it is. Because all they're doing is trying to scam more people out of their money, particularly investors, because they need $10 million to keep afloat. But even if they got that money, they just take it for themselves. Just like with when the Amico thing first started, 2018, they were taking crowd money back then, right? 17 million, and instead of going into the console, they kept it for themselves. What other explanation is there? I can't think of any. But we'll see what happens. There's still a 1%, 2% chance that the Amico would come out. But even if it does, it's not going to be that great for the money that you're paying for. You know what I mean? Because they lied about the price of the Amico and the games. They said it was going to be under €200 or $200, and the games are only going to be $10 each. Now it's going to be $20 per game, and it's going to be about $300 to $350 in price for a mediocre mid-range cell phone system. So I don't know. So there are the differences between the Atari VCS and the Amico. Now, even though the Atari VCS is weaker than the Xbox Series X and stuff, it has a whole lot of games that you can play in it. It's easy to use, it's fun. It's just a much better system, and it looks better in my opinion. So, but that's the Amico sort of looks like a foot bath. Them yokes that you stick your feet in, that's what it looks like. So that's it. I mean, it's just a shame. You know, I feel bad for the people that lost their money. They got scammed by these people. But look, I hope they're found and they're thrown in jail and they have to get back that money. But I don't think that's going to happen. You know, I think they've gotten away with it. But we'll see what happens, because this Amico thing keeps going. It's an amazing story, like, you know. And who knows how it's going to end, but I think that it's a scam, and I don't think it's ever going to come out. You know what I mean? Because they're in too much debt, and even if they pay back these debts, that's just to keep the company afloat. Forget about building the consoles and the online store that the Amico is supposed to have and all this. So, they're my opinions, you know. The similarities and the differences between the Atari VCS and the Intellivison Amico. So, I hope everyone has a good day. Take care and bye-bye.